Hey, welcome to ID Creatures. Today we're going to talk about two-point perspective. So if you saw my previous video, then you can see that I drew a similar shape here to explain how this works. So now you have a horizon line, which is the same as the previous the previous tutorial, but now what we have is we have two dots here on the sides. So basically that's the only thing that changes. Remember that before you used to have horizontal lines, vertical lines, and then vanishing points. So now what you have instead of having horizontal lines is that you have another vanishing point, okay? So like what I told you before about having a place where lines meet, you have a vertical one, you have a vanishing point, and you have another vanishing point, okay? So no horizontal lines in this perspective. So we're going to start the same way by explaining how a cube is done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a horizontal line here, and again it's the vanishing point, it's the horizon line, sorry, horizon line, okay? So this horizon line works the same as the other one, okay? It's the level where your eyes are while you're standing up looking at an object or sitting or wherever, okay? So now we're going to have another point here. This is going to be a vanishing point 1, and then you have another dot there, and this is going to be called vanishing point number 2, okay? So you have two vanishing points. But other than that, things work exactly the same way. So we're going to draw one line here. We're going to draw another line right here, which is the vertical line here. And then from this place, we're going to draw a line that goes all the way to the vanishing point, okay? So we have, like I told you before, where lines meet. I'm going to write it here. You have the first one would be vertical. And again, it doesn't have to be in this order. So the second one would be vanishing point number 1, and then the third one would be vanishing point number 2. So you just need 3. It doesn't matter which order you start drawing them in. I'm just, numbering them so you see that it's 3 of them. So you have, one line going to vanishing point number 2. So now we need another one going to number 1, okay? So after that, we need to close this, side. So we're going to draw a vertical line here, and we're going to draw another vertical line right here, okay? So from this place, we need to go to vanishing point number 2, and from this place, we need to go to vanishing point number 1, okay? So this one is going over there, and this one is going over there, okay? So if you want to make sure your perspective is correct, you can draw the part that's behind the cube or the other side. Sometimes it's really not necessary because of what you're drawing, but if you want to be really precise, you should draw it, because sometimes you're making mistakes that you can't really see unless you draw the back part of it. So I'm going to do the same thing of using the black Sharpie here, just to make everything really, really clear. Okay, so you can tell that right now this looks not like something real, and the reason this is that this angle right here is really, really close. So what we need to do is make it like 90 degrees. So when you make it 90 degrees, it looks like something you see in real life. And the way to do that is, I'm going to bring another piece of paper here and take this one out. The way to do that is by just not having your vanishing points inside the paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a vertical line, and I'm going to do just like one line here and one line over here. And what you can see is that these two lines are going that way, okay? And right now they're not meeting inside my paper in the vanishing point, but if you imagine them going all the way over there really, really far, you're going to notice that eventually they're going to meet, okay? So that's the way to work on perspective when you want it to look, two-point perspective when you want it to look a little bit more realistic, okay? You shouldn't have the points inside your paper. But to start, it's always good to have them in here so you can keep, going all the way to those points. But once you're really, really good at it, then you can just stop drawing them inside the paper and just imagine that they're going, somewhere in that direction. So I'm going to do this one going over there, and then this one going over there. Okay, so you can see that these lines are, eventually going to meet. Maybe not really close to this paper, but really, really far. So that's the idea. I'm going to compare both of them so you can see what I mean. So I'm going to do this. Okay. Okay. So, okay. So I'm going to bring this other one that I made. We have both cubes here. Both of them are done in 2-point perspective, but the thing is that this one is a bit more extreme than this one. And sometimes you want to have this if you really want to make, let's say if it's a car or something and you want the front of it to really be what gets your attention, then you want to put the vanishing points closer to the object. But if you're sketching something a little bit more, let's say, traditional or want it to look realistic, then this is the way to go, okay? Just pretend your vanishing points are really far. And what you can do is, if you're starting and just learning this, you should start by having your vanishing points inside the paper. And after that, just take anything like an eraser is what I used to do, and just, I used to put my paper here and then put the eraser all the way, like at the end of the table, and just imagine that my lines are going all the way to that eraser. That way you have something in mind and you can visualize something and just try to make your lines go there. And from there you can jump to totally having nothing and just imagining lines that should meet at some point. Okay, they're almost parallel, but not really. So after this, the next thing to do would be to draw the same object that we did before. On 1-point perspective, we did something that looked a little bit like a table. Maybe not totally like a table, but I guess it's gonna look a little bit more like a table right now, because we're gonna have this looking from, we're gonna do the table looking at it from the top, so I guess it will look a little bit more like it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sketch with the vanishing points inside the paper, just, you know, to make this very, very clear. Because this tutorial is meant for, you know, people that are just starting. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw 2 lines, and where they meet, that's my starting point. So this is going to be another vertical, this is going to be another vertical, okay? Now this one is going in this direction, and this one is going on this direction, okay? So this is going to be really, really extreme here. What I have is the top part of the table, okay? And now I'm going to have this line go to the vanishing point, and this line go all the way to the vanishing point, okay? So this is going to be really extreme. So what I need to do now is mark, like I did before. I'm going to do a little sketch here of, this is what I have right now. And I'm going to color this area that I'm doing right now, okay? So I'm making a division here. You can see this area is this area that's darkened here, darker. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is do the legs. Okay, this is barely going to fit in the paper. Okay, so this is one of the legs, this is the other one. So now what I need to do is, this line is going all the way over there, and this line is going all the way over there, okay? I need to do the other legs here. And this one is going to the vanishing point, and this one is going to the vanishing point over there, okay? So this is really extreme perspective. I think I'm going to do another one that's not so extreme, so you can probably visualize it better. But anyway, it's a good example of extreme perspectives. Let's see. I guess it's a good moment to remind you about the lines that I need to make darker and the ones that I don't need to make darker. Right now you can tell that this line right here, I made it darker, and the reason for this is that I can only see one of the surfaces that make this line. The other one is underneath everything, so I can't see it. And this one right here, I'm not making it darker because I can see both of them, okay? So that's basically the logic behind making some lines darker than others. Okay, so this is kind of crooked, but okay. So this is sort of like a table-looking object, and it's really extreme two-point perspective. Okay, so I'm gonna do another example where it's not so extreme. Okay,